There's a man that was beaten, made to carry his own cross, nailed on it, left there to die, and his last words were,
"Father, forgive them,
for they do not know what they're doing." Hello, fellow beings with brains. Today, we'll talk about the effects that being unforgiving has on our mental health. If you're here for the very first time, hi, my name is Kundisai, and if you'd like to learn how your brains work, as well as how to continuously keep them healthy, then this is the place. You better click that subscribe button and keep up with all of my content because it's coming like fire. So we'll kick this off with a very small exercise. I want you to just sit down in silence and think about that one person that did you wrong. Observe how you feel when you think about them. Do you feel better or you feel worse? Because if you feel worse, then that means you're still holding on to something, and that's how you know you still haven't forgiven them. But do not worry, by the end of this video, you would have learned how to forgive and how to let go of things that you're holding on. Grudges are basically unfulfilled expectations. If someone does you wrong and your life goes on, but you're still expecting something from them, then you're stuck in the cycle. So let's look at the effects that grudges have on our mental health. When we harbor feelings of anger, bitterness, and resentment, we open a door to more negative emotions and thoughts which mess with our mindset, making it lean towards more negative thinking. And what this actually does is it makes us focus on negativity, which actually dampens our overall well-being, giving or allowing space for things like aggression and stress and so many other very negative things, which then increases our likelihood of being depressed, anxious, and emotionally unstable, leading to aggressive behavior, self-harm, and suicidal thoughts and other possible mood disorders. Living with a grudge eventually starts to affect different aspects of our lives, and it starts to make us lose valuable and enriching connections with people that are in our lives already or potential people that were supposed to be in our lives. So what we begin to do is we sort of start to build a wall about, and it's more stereotypical. So we start to be more stereotypical about the types of people that we allow in our lives. And as soon as we kind of feel like this kind of sounds or looks like the person that really hurt me, we immediately block the person. But this could have been actually a life-changing experience. You could have had a life-changing experience with the person that you're blocking. Another thing that keeping a grudge actually does is that we stop living in the present. We stop focusing on the now. So now we're just constantly referring back to that pain and that hurt, which deprives us of the happiness that we have in the present. Now that we actually know how much grudges can affect us, let's look at the ways that we can let these go. Like, how do we forgive? Is it possible to forgive? And I know most people are probably gonna be like, what if a person does something that is so unforgivable? But yeah, it is possible to forgive though. Just watch this video until the end and you'll find out how. Okay, so first things first, before you actually start thinking about holding something against someone or keeping a grudge, you need to consider that the way that you perceive the events that took place might not be very accurate, because like every other story, there's always two sides. So maybe because you haven't heard the other side, it could be standing in the way of the entire truth and like the entire story. And just try to consider the fact that you might have been misinformed about the events that took place. I know like so many stories where, especially with girls, you're told, okay, Kundisai was saying A, B, C, D, E about you to this person, and then now the other girl is gonna be mad at me for something that's not even true. So that's the type of misinformation I'm talking about. And you could also figure out that, okay, this was actually a big misunderstanding, or there was some miscommunication between like both of the parties. But before you start, catching grudges, just consider this, okay? The most important step to forgiving and letting go is to recognize how you feel And if you can name your feelings, that would be better, because sometimes we just feel some type of way. But name your feelings. Say that I am angry, I'm frustrated, I'm stressed out, I'm depressed. Name how you feel. And then when you do that, you need to accept the events that have occurred. Accept that, okay, so this actually just happened to me. And when you accept something, you acknowledge that there's no way to change the past. So now all we have to do is move on from here. And then also see if there's like any way possible for you and the other person to make amends. That's very important. Another step to forgiving is to empathize with someone. You need to get into their shoes and understand that it kind of goes back to what I was saying before. Like, it's possible that the events that you know and the events that they know are like two different stories. Like, the stories of how the events took place might be two different things, and maybe it's just a big misunderstanding. But just put yourself in that person's shoes. Like, if you were the one that wronged someone, would you want to be forgiven as well? Just consider all of those things. We all want forgiveness. We're not perfect, and we've all done wrong to someone. So just empathize. And when you want to forgive someone, this is another tip. Think of forgiveness as a gift, an altruistic gift, a selfless gift, something that you can just give to that person and just be like, this is yours. And you don't have to say thank you. You don't have to say anything. It's yours. I'm giving it to you, okay? So give that forgiveness, okay? That, if you think of forgiveness in that way, you realize how much of a good person you are at giving it. Another tip is that you need to be committed to forgiving someone. Commit yourself to forgiving. You can never do something you don't want to do. Okay, your mind is telling you that, no, we're not ready, we don't want to do this. But just make that commitment that at the end of the road, I am going to forgive this person. And it's a commitment that I'm making. Even if it's going to take years for me to heal inside, the end of the tunnel should be forgiveness. And then if you're able to forgive this person, you should hold on to that forgiveness. Don't hold on to the grudge. Hold on to the forgiveness. There's so much beauty in holding on to forgiveness. Don't then just wake up the next day and be like, well, I'm mad again. Let's just forget that I even forgave you before type of vibe. Like, I've heard or kind of experienced like certain situations where you've actually forgiven someone, but this person is like still within your life. Maybe it's like someone you work with, someone you're going to school with. And then when they like talk to you or talk to, like, for example, someone you like or admire, you kind of feel this tiny pinch, and then it leads to you being like, you know what was I even thinking? I'm never gonna forgive this person. Don't be that person. Just hold on to that fact that you've forgiven them. You've already given them that gift. Have you ever taken a gift back from someone? No. If you have, damn bro, damn. Okay, so this is something that like worked for me. I've been a person that struggled with forgiveness for a very long time, and this has affected so many friendships, like girl to girl friendships of mine. So I sort of like had this attitude of like, if you just do one thing that makes you untrustable, I'm done. Like, I'm not even gonna ask. I'm just gonna push myself away from you, and no forgiveness, because I'm protecting myself. My God was just so up. Like, do one thing, girl, you're done. The reason I made this video is because it's kind of going along with certain things that are going on in my life currently, but I'm not gonna go too deep into that stuff. But every single time I thought of that person I was holding the grudge on, the feelings would come back of bitterness and of like, I can't believe you did that to me. Like, you were really someone that was close to me, and all of that. Then I confronted them, and it helped so much. I confronted them and I expressed how I felt, and they didn't respond to me, which is okay. But I'm now okay. I've told them what happened. I've sought closure, okay? But one thing I want you guys to actually take note of is, now when I think of that person again, I don't think of the grudge. I think of the forgiveness. I think of like the beauty of how they were in my life and the positive things that I took from that experience. Okay, we're not friends anymore, I could safely say, because she did not respond to my text. Maybe she's gonna respond. I'll give her time. But anyway, that's just the thing. When I think of her, I now think of the forgiveness. I think of the gift. I don't think of the grudge. So that makes me more peaceful, and yeah, that's something you guys could try. Then I've also written down a couple of things you could do to help your process of forgiveness. We all know forgiveness is not an easy thing to do, so there are certain things you could actually do physically that could help you forgive, help you heal, that type of vibe. Okay, so number one, exercising, which it's not my favorite tip, but I like the tip, because what exercising does is, exercising, meditating, and yoga, I'll just group them like that, because yoga and exercising, they're kind of together, because yoga is like a form of exercise. Okay. And then there's meditating as well, and there's also practicing some breathing techniques, So what I like about these is that it refreshes your mind in such an amazing way. If you haven't gotten into the lifestyle of exercising regularly, just try exercising one day, and then the moment that you shower, that feeling, you've got no idea how amazing it feels after you exercise and then you take your shower. It's like that exact same feeling when you cry and then you're done crying and you're like, I'm going to conquer this day. That badass feeling. Yeah, it is exactly the same, only that you don't have to cry. All you gotta do is work that body, honey. Okay. And if you have anger issues, which might have resulted from the fact that you're holding on to this grudge, you could practice anger management. You could go see an anger management coach and, get your anger managed. Another one of my favorite tips for this section is setting healthy boundaries. So a healthy boundary would look something more like, I will only allow this specific person to communicate with me in ABCDE way, with an ABCDE distance, because if it gets too much for me, I might break down or it triggers me. That's like a healthy boundary. It's a boundary where you are being cautious of your health, your mental health, and some nice self-care, okay? Then you could also talk about it with friends that you trust. It's not easy to just trust like so many people after something has happened to you, but trying to talk to somebody that you trust, someone that's your friend or your family member, is definitely helpful. And another helpful thing to do is joining a support group. There's so many support groups, You could join a support group that is obviously specific to whatever that you went through. Maybe you survived something very traumatic, something very traumatic, and you are trying to forgive the person that made you go through this very thing. There's a whole lot of other people that went through the exact same thing, but in different ways, possibly. But you guys can all share the stories and find out from each other, like, okay, so how are you doing now? What are you doing? And how does this make you feel? And, there's so much healing within support groups. So I would definitely encourage those. And of course, going for therapy would be an amazing option. You seek a professional, talk to them about what happened, and they help you with certain things you could do or certain steps you could take in your life to heal and to forgive and to, be free from the mental distress that came from whatever events that took place. And then write down how you feel. Journaling, yay! Just spend some time to reflect on these events that took place and write how you feel. Write every single thing. You're talking to yourself, you're communicating with yourself, so you don't withdraw anything. Write the hell out of that book, okay? It's a way of letting it go. So like I said in the beginning, you could be someone that's listening to me right now saying, this person did something that's very horrible, and this is something that changed my life entirely. My life took an entirely different turn because of this very person. So there's no way I can forgive them. I will not even think about it. I understand you. I truly do. But hear me out. So if you're a religious person, you should pray. Pray that you can get that forgiveness, this exact same forgiveness that Jesus was able to have. The exact same forgiveness that someone in your religion was able to have. Like a role model in your religion that is known for forgiveness. Look up to that person and pray that you may have that strength, that spiritual healing within you, so that you're able to forgive this person, okay? Then if you're not a religious person, you should go to someone that you consider to be compassionate and wise, someone that you can hear advice from and you will take it in religiously, This could be your friend, a family member. This could be someone like a mentor, someone you don't really know, someone you've never really talked to. Just try reaching out to these people. And it could also just be a mental health professional. If you seek some mental health professionals, they're able to help you with this process of healing. But trust me, keeping this grudge is not healthy, and so many things just happen when you hold things against other people. So many things happen inside. These are just the mental health effects, but they're also physical effects, like your blood pressure rises and so many other things. Most of the times when we keep grudges, we think that it somehow harms the person that we're keeping this grudge against. But what we don't realize is it's actually harming us the most. That person is probably out in Dubai
in a phone. Wow, I love it.
But okay, back to being serious. It harms you the most, and today you need to look back and think of the things that you're not letting go and take the necessary steps to forgiving and the necessary steps to finding peace, okay? Note that forgiveness, it's a process. It does not happen in one day for other people. For other people, it takes years. For other people, it takes months or weeks or just an hour to forgive. But you need to realize that this is a process. You're not expected to do it like in a blink of an eye, but just make sure that your end goal is forgiveness in the end. And sometimes what sucks about forgiveness is you might have to do it over and over again, because we're capable of forgiving and undoing that forgiveness after, let's say, that person does something wrong to us again, but something different. We're capable of holding an entire grudge from like point A to point C of the things that they were doing wrong. We're capable of bringing all of that back, okay? So you need to keep forgiving over and over and over again. It's something you should not get tired. If you made it to the very end of this video, I am so grateful. You've got no idea. And as a way of telling me that you actually made it to the end, comment an emoji a Halloween pumpkin emoji down in the comment sections, because I am an October baby. Oh yes. Oh yes. Okay. Just comment that pumpkin right below just to tell me and to signify that you've made it till the end. You know, I would truly appreciate it, you know. People hardly make it to the end. I do not know what it takes, okay? But I'm getting there. I am getting there. If you enjoyed this video, then you might just enjoy the one that's right over here. Click on it and don't forget to subscribe to my pretty face, okay? Subscribe. Your mental health. Subscribe, okay? Love you. Bye.